and welcome back to K&F Design. As you can see, it looks just a little bit different. I have taken out that dark brown wall with this nice lighter whitish color, and then we made some more signs, which is what I'm going to be showing you how to make today. Now before you go, no, you don't need anything fancy to make these signs. All you need is a miter box and a handsaw. Yes, I cut these by hand with a miter box and a handsaw. The only pieces I actually cut with the miter box and handsaw is my trim, and so it just gave me my 45-degree angles, which I cut with my husband these all by hand to make the trim of a sign, which just really made it go to that next level. You just have to, so like with this trim here, the sides are different, so I had to watch how I did my 45-degree angles so that they would line up correctly. But if you pick a trim that's the same on both sides all the way around, then it doesn't matter how you cut your angles, as long as they're the 45-degree angles. And then I also made my own designs here on a program called Inkscape. It is a free program, and it does take some getting used to if you have never used it before. And then I put it into my Glowforge and had it cut the wood out for me, and then painted and spray painted everything. And then I applied wood glue to glue everything together. Even the trim, I just did glue. These are pretty lightweight, so I have a backing to them, but I did do just super glue, Gorilla Glue for my backing, just to be safe when it's something a little bit sturdier there. Now, if you don't have a machine like a Glowforge to cut your designs out of wood like I did, no worries. You can always go to your local craft store, even a Dollar Tree. They have a lot of wood letters and different like flowers and other different designs made out of cut pieces of wood. So you could always pick up some of those and make your own design that way. You could also even just use like a Cricut type machine and cut designs out of vinyl, wood burning tools. Really, you can make signs out of whatever you want. I just recommend you finish them off with a nice trim. So this is just trim from the local hardware store, and that just really took my signs to the next level. So don't forget to hit that subscribe button and like button down below. And with that, let's get crafting. Here we're just measuring where we want to do our angle on our trim, and this is the board that we will be using as the base. Measure twice, cut once. And then once we made our angles, we just sanded the edges to make them nice and flat and smooth. Also a side note on the designs that you do, I tried to do about a 2mm thick for each little petal, but then the insides got a little bit smaller. I don't recommend going any smaller than that. It just gets so small and tiny, and then they start to break because they're so small. So we'll see on these centers how many break and stay together. See, they're already crumbling by touching it because it's so thin when I paint it, so we'll see about that. For my paint, I decided to go with these colors here. We have Chickadee, Rapids, Coral Reef, and they are a Vespa paint that I picked up. So I just did some paint samples here, and so I'm going to be painting the boards with that, and then our flowers and words white. And then for the border, I think like a stained look. So I might try doing my chalk paint and then wiping it off and seeing how that looks, if I like that color. I'm not sure if I want darker or lighter, so I'll probably paint everything first and then kind of judge what type of paint or stain I want to do for that. But let's try this one on just a scrap piece of wood to see what it looks like, and then we'll go from there for that. To make our stain, I'm going to try a couple different colors. I have this brown wax that I am going to try first. It might be a little dark, but we'll see. So what you do is you just paint it on, and then while it's still wet, you can use just a dry paper towel and wipe it off, and it shows some of the grain of the wood and looks like a stain. And then you can, if you want a little darker, you can apply a second coat and do the same thing. Now what I'll be doing with my trim, because I have so much of it, a big area, I'm actually going to use a wet wipe, and that way so when my paint dries on me, I can then just wipe it off. Since it'll be dry, it won't work with just the paper towel. Now, let's get painting. And we're done. I left the edges just because borders are going to cover that, and then it also will help wood on wood will stick better than the paint against each other, so it has a little more of a grab. So I ended up spray painting all of my letters and my flower pieces, and that did a nice even coat and saved me a lot of time from hand painting it. To line up my flowers, this is what I cut my woods out of. So I'm gonna lay it down and then do the border on top. So as you can see, my glad is getting cut off here, so I need to move it over. Oh, and here, this is the W, actually, from my other one. And then I also am making sure it's lined up at the bottom here too. And then, since this is a straight line, I'm butting up my wood up against it to make sure everything's straight. And I'll have my flower coming in here, which is a little close to my eye. So I'm gonna move it over just a smidge. Now that everything's in place, I will put some glue and then just drop my letters in. So I'm just going to be applying some wood glue that I poured here in my little container and just apply it with a toothpick and then place all my letters in place. Once my letter's in place, then I'm going to do the frame and then fill in with these flowers. That way I can make sure I butt them right up against the edge. There's like a 3M, which is a double-sided tape kind of thing that you can always put on your wood before it gets cut, and then you would just peel it off and stick it on. That's really nice, easy, and fast, but I don't have that. I'm not that fancy yet, so I'm gonna just spend a lot of time applying some glue. In fact, I might use my silicone brush instead. That'll go faster. I really like these silicone brushes, and I'll make sure to leave a link to them below. It took me so long to find them. Finally found them on Amazon, and I use them all the time. I love them. And if you don't want to do this type of measuring to get your spacing correct on your letters, another thing I could have done that I thought of after was I could have done a score line on my board in the shape of all the letters. So then I would have just glued them on that score line. But I didn't think about it till after, so. Right, I'm going to set this aside and let it dry, the glue. Got a little yellow paint there, I'll touch that up with my white paint. And I'll work on my other one, and then I'll do these edges once this is dried.
Told your friend you're not okay, and tell me what's wrong and why you never said you felt that way. And guess you're trying to stay strong and fake a smile until I look away. But I've known you too long, it hurts to watch your blue eyes fade to gray as you fade away, as you fade away.
Yeah, I'm about to fade away, cause every time I wake up I feel like it's Monday. Something's going wrong with all the chemicals up in my brain. All of a sudden I don't look at anything the same way. Got a buildup of my thoughts sitting in an ashtray. I'm sorry that I'm so inconvenient, okay. Just let me be me and I'll stay out of your way. I can see the way you look at me, I'm such a disgrace. I never really asked to be brought into this place. You wanna love me? Well then baby I have a taste. All the highs and the lows, no you'll never be the same. I don't really wanna hurt you but I can't control the pain. If you're sticking by my side maybe we could be okay. Okay, maybe you could be the change I need today. I promise that I've never felt this way. I really hope that you will choose to stay through all the pain.
I know you told your friend you're not okay, and tell me what's wrong and why you never said you felt that way. And guess you're trying to stay strong and fake a smile until I look away. But I've known you too long, it hurts to watch your blue eyes fade.
So I went ahead and just glued on my frames here. You could use a staple gun, I don't have one. So actually what I'm just doing here is I have these clamps. I used my wood glue, placed down my frame, and then clamped it so it's gluing. I did the felt here just so I would protect my wood so the clamp doesn't damage the ends. And with that done, I just have to glue on my flowers. So same process, I'm going to line them up nicely with my wood here. And then just use my silicone brush to apply my wood glue and lay them down. See, you didn't need big heavy equipment to make these beautiful signs. And I hope you will be inspired by this to make some beautiful signs yourself. I love to see what you make, so make sure you leave them on any of my Facebook, Instagram, any of those social medias, or even just send me an email. All that is down below, and while you're down there, don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and the like button. It really does help my channel so we can keep crafting and I can show you how you can do things like this as well. Please let me know down below if you like these new designs and what you think of my colors and just the whole remodel of this little space here. I had a lot of fun crafting with you today, and I'll see you next week. Bye for now.